Okay, I have exciting news, okay? 2 days ago, I met my first ever Karen.
Hooray!
Okay, I met my first Karen. I've dealt with a lot of rude older people. Like, I work customer service and stuff, but this was my first Karen, like, in the wild. Like, I've had rude coaches, rude, like, instructors, just, like, rude coworkers and stuff. But my first Karen in the wild, bro. And I handled it amazing. Like, literally, here's what happened. So I live in an apartment complex, right? And she lives, like, she's like the department of whatever the heck. Like, she thinks she's up there, but she's like some volunteer for like the apartment, and she like calls herself like the board of directors or something. And she came up and she's like, "You're not allowed to have anything on your balcony." And I was like, okay. And she was like, "So take it off. Take off we had a ladder out there, and she's like, "Take off the ladder right now. Put it inside. Put it inside." I was like, "Don't talk to me like that." And she's like, "Put it inside right now." And she was going in full Karen mode. And she has like the Karen, like, not the Karen bob, but she has like she has like a snoot or like a rat in her hair. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, she has like the Abby Lee Miller hairstyle kind of. And she just looks like a Karen. So anyways, I handled it amazingly, but I was kind of like, after that, like, I was a little shook, and I was like, what can I do with this experience? Like, what can I literally do with this experience? And I was like, I'm gonna make a video on how to deal with rude ass haters and just Karens in general. And I feel like that's a great idea because I handled that incredibly. So that's what we're gonna do. So first, you really need to understand the psychology behind them. So this will help you detach from the loser at hand, okay? So loser at hand is the Karen or the hater or whatever. That's the loser that we're dealing with at the moment, right? And you really need to dissect how much of a loser that they are. You need to really understand how pathetic they are to be acting like this. This is a skill issue. Them freaking out like this and not being able to communicate effectively, this is a skill issue. And usually Karen, like, rude people are like a lot older than us, and even if there's someone your own age, like, you know how to communicate and they don't, that's embarrassing, right? So, and especially if this hater is like older than you, like, everyone who's ever hated on me, like most people that's ever hated on me or been rude to me were older than me. And at the time, whenever I was younger, whenever I had like coaches and stuff who were like mean to me and yell at me and stuff, I was like, I'm so sad. But now I'm like thinking back, I was like, that was lame as fuck on their behalf. So, like, you know, whenever like someone's in a really bad mood, or like you yourself are in a really bad mood, and you pick fights with people, like, you're just irritable, and like anything that people do like sets you off. That's how they feel all the time. If you meet a person and they are rude all the time, their life is miserable. Like, you know, whenever like your mom or somebody like says something whenever you're in a bad mood, and it's just like, oh my god, like, you're getting on my nerves, like, you're already irritable, and so anything that anybody says like sets you off. That's how they feel all the time, bro. So honestly, this has nothing to do with you. Them lashing out has nothing to do with you. If somebody's rude to you at school, they're constantly rude because they all constantly feel like trash. Another important part of their psychology is that they have never felt in control. They have always felt inferior to others. No matter like what position they're in now, they are never going to be happy. They are always going to be that insecure rat. You know, like, a lot of people, like, as soon as they get into, like, they think that like whenever they get in a powerful position, it's going to fix them and they're going to be happy. But no matter what they do, they just can't be happy. They are constantly miserable, and so they're taking it out on other people. Like, for example, like, I've had coaches, like gymnastics coaches. I've had Miss Karen at the apartment complex that I had to deal with. Like, people who are now authority figures and thought like this is their dream position to be in, to like, and some people, they want that position because they want to be rude to others with no consequence. But some people think like, oh, once I'm important, once people look up to me, then my life will be fixed. Now I'll be happy. But they're not happy, so they're just angry. Like, they're so angry. And I don't know about other people, but knowing that they feel that trashy actually makes me feel so much better. I'm like, oh my god, period. Like, you are not living a happy and fulfilled life as you should be suffering. And like, this is especially common with like bullies, right? And I've met people, like coworkers of mine, who were like now in like their 30s and stuff, but who were mean in middle school and high school. They were mean, and they have admitted it. They were mean people and were mean to other people. And they were like, I was so angry. Like, I was just mad all the time because no matter like what position they were in or no matter what, they always saw something better in someone else. Like they were never enough, so they wanted to make other people around them feel shitty so that they weren't the only ones who felt shitty, because it's so lonely to feel shitty alone, you know? So that's why they did what they did. They just wanted people to feel as bad as they felt. And like they didn't want, like if they couldn't be happy, no one could be happy. Everyone had to be miserable with them, you know? And so like popular people, whatever, they're popular, but it doesn't matter because they're not happy, and they're never gonna be happy unless they fix whatever's going on inside them. So they bully everyone else until they feel happy, which they probably will never feel fulfilled. And like one thing that I always keep in mind whenever I deal with like a rude person is they are so small and fragile. They operate off ego only. Whenever they talk rudely to people, they're trying to talk down on you. They're trying to talk down on you, and that's how they lift their ego. Like they are not in power. Like even if they're like your manager being mean or whatever, yeah, they're an authority figure, but they still can't talk to you like trash, you know? Or like a landlord or whatever it is, like somebody that's mean to you at school or whatever. They're all ego. They love feeling like they're in power because they feel so small internally. Like no one who's rude to others would ever do that if they didn't feel bad about themselves. So once you take their authority away, like for example, that lady who yelled at me, like her whole life is centered around wanting to be the best, like wanting everyone to respect her, to see her as an authority figure. And as soon as I said, don't talk to me like that, that bursted her ego. Like she just, like I could see her withering away. Like she was like I could see the craziness in her eyes, like literally, like her whole rat's nest went like this. I swear, she literally was so mad, and she like whenever she opened the door to get in, she slammed it. Like she was pissy because I told her not to talk to me like that, and her ego combusted because I wasn't respecting her. I wasn't like, yes ma'am, yes ma'am. I wasn't gonna do that because she's being a brat. You need to set your boundaries, but gently, like gentle parent them to the point where it's like you're talking down to them, kind of like you're being condescending is what I would say. Okay, some people will call this petty, and I love to be petty. I love to be petty. If you don't like petty and you're looking to be like this incredible, like I'm better than everyone else and I would never do something like that, then maybe this isn't the video for you. Maybe I'm not the person for you, because I love a petty moment. I am petty. But anyways, I think that the best way to deal with a Karen is not to be nice to them, but to be fake nice. Like if they're leaving, goodbye gorgeous, have a nice day beautiful. Something that will literally, like, they know you don't mean that shit. They know you don't mean that shit, but what are they gonna do? She called me beautiful, she called me pretty. Okay, and like something where they can't come back and retaliate against you. Like if you're like, shut the fuck up you dumb stupid bitch, then like obviously they can use that against you and be like, she told me to shut the fuck up and I'm a dumb stupid bitch. Like people can be like, oh damn, like that was wrong of you. Or like police officers can be like, that's an assault. But if you say goodbye gorgeous and she's like, she called me gorgeous, people are gonna be like, you're crazy. She's being nice to you and you're being crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Plug.
Gaslight the Karen. Gaslight them. Drive them insane. Make them crazy. Make them insane. Make them more insane than they already are. It's funny. Get with it. So whenever I told the Karen, like, don't talk to me like that, I wasn't like, don't talk to me like that, don't talk to me like that. I was like, don't talk to me like that, please. Don't talk to me like that, please. I don't appreciate being talked to like that. And that drove her over the edge because she was getting all heightened. She was like, take it inside, take it inside. And I was like, I don't like the way you're talking to me. And she was like, and I'm not being nice to her. I know I'm being condescending. She does too. But I'm not being rude. I'm not saying anything mean to her. I'm not like, you're a dumbass bitch and a cunt. Like, I'm not doing that, you know? Another good one that always gets them is, I can see you're frustrated right now. And whenever you feel like you can talk calmly, I would definitely be open to having that conversation. I've used that with coworkers. Like I had a 30-year-old coworker who hated me. And I used that with her. and she got so riled up, but she ended up getting fired because I didn't level up to that. Like, I didn't go as far as she did. She was like, I hate you, and she like made like this whole like rant about me in the group chat, and she was going crazy, and all because I was just like, I was rage baiting her, but I wasn't being demonic. Like, I wasn't like, you're ugly and stupid. You know what I'm saying? That's my first instinct, is to do that, though, is to be like, you're ugly and stupid. But I'm trying to train myself to be like, so yeah, what I would say is to deal with, the only way to deal with someone who's rude and just like out of their mind is just to gaslight them, to be condescending, and like being normal with them. They're not normal beings. They're not normal human beings. So being normal with them is not going to work, okay? So if you're sitting here being like, that's so rude to gaslight them, well, guess what? I don't care. Because you can't have a normal conversation with these people. You need to gaslight them. You need to drive them crazy. And maybe you could drive them away from you. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the only way that I've ever dealt with it. Like, like in the past, whenever I was younger, like 12 or something, I've dealt with rude people, and I was like, okay, I'm sorry. But then, like, what do they feel like they did something, and then you give them more fuel to be rude to people. You give them more audacity. No, you cut it off at the minute. You just say, and just like, you just rage bait them. Rage bait them. Like, that's literally it. Another thing to remember is that nothing they say truly matters. Nothing they say is logical. Nothing they say matters. They are so miserable. Like, there's only 2 people in this conversation, and you just called me dumb. I'm not dumb. The only other person in this equation is you. So if there's one person out of the 2 of us that you're calling stupid, and it's not me, it must be coming over to your side. It must be coming on your end, baby doll, because it's not coming on my end. Like, I'm not stupid, so you must be deflecting, is what's going on here, you know? Like there's so many times where like a 30-year-old coworker of mine was like, you're so immature. I need, like, whenever like the manager was like, that manager said that I can have the team lead position or something, and the older person was like, you're so immature for taking that. I need that. I need this. And I was like, girl, there's no pay raise or anything, darling. Like, you need to calm down. And she was like, you're so immature. You're so immature. I can't deal with children like you. And I'm like, I'm not being immature, so it must be you. Like, you thought that I was gonna call you immature, so you beat me to it, and I'm scared. And I feel like the best way to make their words mean nothing is to know yourself well. Like, you know, whenever you like call someone out and they start going crazy, they're like, I don't know, I didn't do that. Like, they're getting so defensive to the point where like it looks like they did do it, even if they didn't. It looks like they did because they're getting so defensive. But yeah, they get so heated that it looks like they're guilty. And so whenever they say something about you, they're looking for a reaction. They're looking for like some sort of fuel to, you know, calm down how angry they are inside. So if you know yourself and they say something stupid and outlandish, then it's not going to hurt you. Well, it might hurt you because you're a human being, but it's not going to be like, she attacked me and it's a personal attack, because it's true. It's like, it's not true. You're weird for saying that. Another thing that I love to do, okay, is to humiliate them. I love it. Like, if they say something rude, like so rude, like they're like, who do you think you are? Who do you think you are? And they're like, you're stupid for that. You're this, you're an idiot. And you're like, why did you say that? Why did you feel the need to say that? Why did you say that? And they're gonna be like, because you're being, and if they can't think of a logical reason, like, I feel like whenever somebody says, like, especially if someone says like a joke or something that they know is mean, and you try to get them to explain it, it humiliates them so hard. And my cousin told me this one time, and at the time, like, I was like, kind of like, people were racist at school, and I'm half Asian, and he was like, just do that to them, ask them to explain their joke. And I was like, it's never gonna work. But it does, because it's like, a joke is supposed to be mutual on both ends. Like, we both understand it, so it's funny. But whenever you tell them to explain it, it's like one side didn't receive it, so it's obviously not that funny. So now they have to explain it, especially if it's in an audience. Like, they have to explain their joke now, and like, there's no way to justify how rude they were without sounding like an idiot. Like, I said that because I was mad. Like, they could be like, I just said that in the heat of the moment because I was mad. Oh, so you have no emotional control? We can work on that. You know, like, if you ask them, because the whole point of them is to feel like they're superior to other people. Whenever you ask them to explain their joke or explain the rude comments that they made, now you're above them. Now you're talking down to them. Like, can you explain yourself? And now they're gonna get mad because they're gonna be like, it's a hard thing to explain why you were rude, why you said that, why you said what you said. And this will prove why, like, how their words have no meaning. Like, this is why a lot of the things people, like, if somebody says something rude to me, I'm like, whatever, because they can't back it up. They can't explain it. Like, if they say, like, you're stupid or something, they can't explain why. They just said it because they're stupid. Like, they just said it because that's, like, the easiest thing that came to their mind. They can't give you an example of how you were stupid. Or if you said, like, if they were like, because you made a mistake on this, how is that stupid? I made a mistake. You know what I mean? Like, they can't explain properly why they said the rude things that they said. And it's so embarrassing to try to explain that to somebody, especially in front of other people. Like, explaining why you were rude as fuck. It just sounds like you're weird. It just sounds like you have no control over what you're saying or no emotional regulation. But yeah, that was the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that there are no Karens or rude people that come close to you or anything along those lines. But if there are, use these tips and maybe you'll survive them. But yeah, that's it. Bye.